Hey, what's up, everyone? It's TechWares. Today is November 14th, 2025. Steam Machine. I made a previous video on my disappointment regarding the Steam Machine, and a lot of people left comments pretty much disagreeing with me, saying that, oh, the specs are fine, oh, it depends on the pricing, oh, majority of people on, Steam game at 1080p, 8 gigs of VRAM is okay, majority of gamers are gaming at 8 gigs of VRAM anyway. Go look at the Steam hardware survey. Listen, man. First of all, regarding the price, regardless of what the price is going to be, the hardware is still disappointing. It's still disappointing. You know what I mean? Um, when this system is going to be being released in 2026, when you buy a new PC, you want it to last at least a couple of years. Yes, hardware is always gonna uh, the value of hardware and the performance and things like that, it's gonna go down year after year, right? But this is a brand new product. Like, for example, when Sony comes out with a new console, Xbox, when new generation consoles release, they're trying to use really the newest hardware from AMD. Um, for example, even the Switch. Well, the Switch, they had no choice. They had to go with Nvidia for backwards compatibility and mature documents and SDKs and dev kits and things like that. But this thing's not using new hardware. It's using old hardware. And by the time it releases in 2026, it's going to be even older. So it's going to take like a year. By the time it releases early next year, at the end of next year, Q4, hardware is obsolete. CPU is obsolete. GPU is obsolete. 8 gigs of VRAM is ridiculous. So how long is this system even going to last you if you purchase it? A year? I mean, it depends on the games you play and the settings and the resolution. I get it, I understand. But like I said, regardless of the price, it's still not a good system, man. And you don't see many people calling it out. Like, there's like a big Steam slash Valve cult out there. And these people will always try to spin something around to make put Valve and Steam in a positive light. Like, for example, this is probably one of the only articles I've seen from Club 386 talking about that the Steam Machine is a letdown, and they give their reasoning and they talk about it, but not many people do. Not many YouTubers, not many tech tech journalists or tech publication websites. If this was released by like MSI or Asus or Intel or one of these companies, they would just hammer on the fact that the hardware is outdated, the 8 gigs of VRAM is not enough. And you guys know this is true. But just because it's Valve, just because it's Steam, they're gonna try to spin it around and, oh well, not every gamer plays games at higher resolution. Oh, not every look at the hardware server. Man, this is ridiculous, man. Stop trying to spin it around. Be realistic. You gotta be fair and you gotta be objective. 8 gigs of VRAM. You can go on Google right now and type in 8 gigs VRAM and you will see so many YouTubers, so many articles saying 8 gigs of VRAM is not enough for 2025. And this system is coming out in 2026. So what makes you think this system is 8 gigs of VRAM is good enough in 2026? But just because it's Valve, they try to spin it around. It's ridiculous. It's dumb. Be objective. Don't be a fangirl. Don't be a fanboy. Come on, man. Be realistic. But here's the Steam hardware survey. All right, this is the latest one from October 2025. And yes, majority of Steam users as of today, are 33% of them, not majority, actually not even majority, but 33% of Steam hardware survey users are on 8 gigs of VRAM. But as you can see, it is declining. It is declining. So a lot of people are not getting are not getting GPUs with 8 gigs of VRAM. They're not. They're really not. Um, even 10 is low. Even 11 is low. You know, 12, 12 and up is good for a system that is going to release in 2026. But it is what it is, man. And also, regarding the price, here's what I think it's going to be priced at. I think the base model is going to be 549. That is the 512 gig model. 549 without a controller, and 599 with controller, with the Steam controller, which is actually pretty decent. It's a decent price, regardless of the hardware being completely obsolete by the time it releases, and not really good hardware. But just that's an okay deal. At least you get a controller with it for $600, and the little 1080p, low to medium settings, trying to target 60 FPS mini PC. That's okay. And I think the 2 terabyte version is going to be $749 without a controller, and $799 with the controller. That is the 2 terabyte version. So that's what I think the Steam Machine is going to be. 549 to 599, depending if you want a controller or not, and 749 to 799 for the 2 terabyte version, depending on if you want a controller or not. I think the controller is amazing. The Steam controller is great, and I think everyone should get a Steam controller. A fantastic Steam controller. Looks great. Everything I read about it, the specs, it's amazing. I will get one, but I will not get a Steam Machine, but I will get a Steam controller. And the Steam frame, legendary. Steam frame is absolutely legendary. I wish Steam much success with all the hardware they release, even though the Steam Machine is absolute disappointment, but it is what it is. And let me show you guys what I think the Steam Machine should have been like. Give me a second here. So here's what I think the Steam Machine should have been. This is the Intel NUC 9 Extreme kit. I'm just showing you an example. I'm not saying this should be it. This is the Ghost Canyon. This is a review from 2020 from PC Mag. So check this out. Look at this. Looks pretty cool, right? Still small form factor. Maybe looks kind of higher than, looks like in lengthwise, height-wise, looks kind of higher than Steam Machine, but not that much higher, right? Pretty compact size as far as width. And look at this, guys. Look at this. Here's another picture. Pretty cool, right? Look at this. Look at that. Yes, that is a GPU right there. Sorry, not right here, but right here. The GPU. The side panel image. As you can see, the side panel's mesh, so it is ventilated. Here's the front. It looks kind of similar to the front of the Steam Machine currently, right? You have two USB ports. I think this is SD card port. This might be a power, and it has the LED around the power. Okay, let's go down some more. Back panel. The back of the NUC. You can see a GPU right there that you can slot in. A 2-slot discrete GPU. And here's the motherboard I/O. Right, HDMI, of course. This is an old system, so they had HDMI, but you wouldn't need that, of course, because you would use the GPU. And yes, the power supply is built in the case, just like the the Steam Machine. And the best of all, You can change the fans, right? It's you can upgrade it. Look at that. But the best picture of them all is right here. Look at this. You could upgrade the GPU. The GPU is upgradable. Yes, it has to be a certain size. But hey, there's a lot of GPUs out there these days that are exactly this. A dual fan, uh, 2 slot GPUs that you can slot in. Here's the motherboard right there. You can slide it in. On the bottom right there is the power supply. You know? Isn't that amazing? And here is they call it the Intel, I think, compute module or something, which is basically, you can even upgrade the CPU. That is what's great about the NUC, the Intel NUCs. I think Asus makes them now because I think Intel sold the NUC brand or whatever to Asus. So on the Intel NUCs, look how small it is, and everything's compact, all the cables and everything. You could upgrade this GPU. GPU is upgradable, and you can even upgrade the CPU. But it wasn't that many generations. I think you can upgrade it maybe 1 or 2 generations higher, but it's upgradable. You know what I mean? So I think, yeah, here it is. See, here's the CPU module. They call it the compute element. That's what they call it. Yeah, the compute element. You can even upgrade the storage. So you can upgrade the CPU, upgrade the GPU, upgrade the storage. This is what should have been the Steam machine, something like this. I'm not saying exactly this because this is pretty old. It's gonna be 5 years old now. So that could have been the Steam machine, something like that. That is modular, that is upgradable. But yes, the thing is with the NUCs, they were expensive, they were pricey. But look at the pros. Stellar performance, especially for its size. Upgradable, upgrade potential of a full desktop. Power supplies internal. Healthy selection of ports. And they got 3 warranty. But the cons, of course, it was pricey. It can only be orientated one way. Maybe that was a con. But of course, Valve could have engineered something that is similar to the Steam machine, but that has the modularity and upgradability of the Intel NUC. So I think that would be even cooler, man, if that was because Valve says the Steam machine is a PC, and what makes PCs great, you can upgrade them, right? When you build a PC, you can upgrade it. But yeah, man, that's it. That's all I want to say. Regardless of the price, Steam machine is still disappointing. We wanted something a little bit more powerful, something a little bit more, in today's times. I mean, Zen 4 is cool, even though it's old. 6 cores, 12 threads. I mean, GPU's pretty disappointing. RDNA 3, 28 compute units, 8 gigs of VRAM is absolutely ridiculous. That's the biggest Achilles heel of this system. But yeah, that's it, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, man. Take care, everyone. Peace.